This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Diego Pacheco. How are you, Diego?
I'm good, Kugan. How are you, brother? Nice to talk to you again. It's been a little while, but happy to be back here and getting these interviews going.
I'm pretty sure the first time I interviewed you was before your debut. Was that right?
Um, I think it was I had a couple fights. I think it was when I was gonna fight in Saudi, wasn't it?
I remember interviewing you with a couple of other fighters. I can't remember who it was.
I remember it was early on. I'm not sure if it was before my debut, but it might have been somewhere around there.
But did we not agree that when you win your first world title, that Eddie Hearn's got to get you a Rolex watch?
Yes, yeah, and we did agree on that for sure. I remember that. Yeah, I think I was a few guys were making their debuts, but I think I was like two or three fights in already.
Yeah. But I
Yeah,
remember
but we did come up with that deal with Eddie. Eddie agreed, so that time is coming soon.
Well, look, I'll find the footage. If you win a world title, then Eddie owes you a Rolex. Simple.
Yeah,
Um, right, Diego, you're in action next week. Um,
next week.
yeah, against Trevor McCumbee. We know obviously Trevor's only suffered the one loss to in his career to Caleb Plant. What sort of fight are you expecting next week?
I'm expecting a great, tough fight. Trevor McCumbie's a tough fighter who comes to fight. He comes with a lot of power, and that's what I've been preparing for. A tough fight, and I'm ready to go the distance and do what I do and just box and give the fans a great fight.
He's got a decent knockout ratio, but so have you. So when you say go the distance, if the knockout comes, it comes.
Exactly. Yeah. If the knockout comes and it comes, but I'm not in there looking for a knockout. I'm gonna go in there and do what I do, and that's dominate, win every round. And if the knockout comes and it comes, but I'm prepared to go 12 rounds and more if needed.
Diego, you've stuck with Eddie Hearn for the majority of your career. Um, how confident are you that Eddie Hearn can get you to where you want to be in your career at this stage?
Very confident. I think that's the reason I signed with him, to start my boxing career. I signed with him when I was 17 years old, and now I'm 24. And up until now, it's been a great journey. I love working with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, everyone down in DAZN, and just excited for the future. I'm very confident in my team, and I think that will get me to where I need to be. They're doing an amazing job in their field, and I'm doing my job here in the gym. So there's we make a great team, and I don't see why we won't get to those world titles.
It seems to me that you're not very far off, kind of on that world title charge. That's going to come definitely within the 6 to 12 months that you're going to get your opportunity at world level.
Yes, sir. That's the goal. Of course, to July 19th, we have a tough task ahead. In Trevor McCumbee. He's a great tough fighter. I feel like he doesn't have too many skills or too many tools in his toolbox, but he's a tough guy, and that makes for a great fight. When you have someone like me who has great skills, who has a great IQ, can box, also has punching power, going against a guy who's a come forward, slugger. It makes for a great fight. I'm ready, man. I've been seeing guys like him my whole life. Being a guy who's 6'4", usually I'm going against guys who are bringing the pressure, who are trying to get on the inside. So this is what I train for, and this is what I've been preparing for my entire career. And the time is here to make these big fights, and I'm all in for it.
Are you pleased with the way your career's gone so far in terms of getting the right fights at the right time? Are you happy with everything that's happened?
Yes, of course, these past couple fights. We've tried to get certain opponents, and for one reason or another, the fights don't get made. But Matchroom always seems to find another great opponent for me to face. So like I said, I'm really grateful to Matchroom. I'm excited to continue working with them and hopefully, getting all these big fights in the really near future.
Absolutely. Do want to ask your opinion on a fight that's just been announced, Diego, in Benavidez and Anthony Yard, to happen in Saudi Arabia in November. What do you think of that fight?
That's a great fight, man. Two great champions. But of course, I gotta go with my brother David Benavidez. It's a guy who I've had the privilege of being in the ring with hundreds, if not thousands of rounds of sparring. And I know he's a great fighter, and I feel he has a lot more skills than people give him credit for. So I think David Benavidez will come out victorious in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously back home we know Anthony Yard very well. He was years ago in a good fight with Kovalev. Had his moments in that fight. He's fought Beterbiev, etc. So this is going to be an interesting fight. But you're backing your
Oh
man
yeah.
Benavidez.
Oh yeah, man. Anthony Yarde is a hell of a fighter, a lot of experience, so it's definitely gonna be a great fight, but like I said, I'm backing up my bro, David Benavidez.
Have you guys been sparring in the lead up to your fights here?
Not for this camp. He's been down in Miami. He just had a newborn baby, so he's been down there for the past couple months. But for my last camp, I got to spar him like two or three times earlier in the year. But this time around, he's been down in Miami, and I'm training up here in Seattle, Washington.
Okay. Well, look, I'll just finish off. Obviously, there was always talk of Benavidez and Canelo. Canelo's fighting Crawford in Vegas in September. What do you think about that fight with Canelo and Terence Crawford? First of all,
I think it's a great fight, man. Terrence Crawford to me is a hell of a boxer, a hell of a fighter. He's got a lot of skills. I feel like Canelo is, I mean, he's also a great fighter. And it's tough, man, because both guys are getting a little older. Both guys have already like proved everything they've had to prove now. It's just like the one fight that's gonna cement their like legacy. So it's kind of like whoever wants it more. I feel it's a really even fight. Canelo obviously the bigger guy, but Terrence Crawford has a lot of skills, and I feel he's a lot more athletic and elusive and can move, has better footwork. So I could see Crawford boxing him 12 rounds. But it's tough. Canelo's a hell of a fighter, and I think he knows that this fight is for legacy too. So he might just leave it all out in there and really step to Crawford. So I'm excited to see the fight, man. It's gonna be a great fight.
it is going to be a great fight, and like I said, there's a lot of questions about the weight difference, etc., etc. But yeah, it is Terence Crawford after all, one of the pound for pound greats at the moment in the
Yeah.
Ring Magazine top 10, etc. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, well,
Who you got, KUGAN?
what's that?
Who you got in that fight?
I can't call fights. I'll stay out of it.
Okay.
Stay out of it. People, fighters get a little bit, if you pick one fighter or another, but so kind of just, yeah,
So who you got from me and McCumbee, man?
I'm backing you. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm backing you. No, I just want to see you get your shot. Like I said, I've obviously been following your career for the last few years since you turned over, especially obviously with Eddie Hearn, and yeah, it'd be good to see you get your shot finally at what world level.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. And hopefully I get to go back down to the UK sooner than later. I've only fought there once, but it was a great experience.
Where
And
was it you fought, Diego? Where was it?
I fought in Liverpool. I was supposed
Liverpool.
to be
Yes.
under Callum Smith, but then he got injured,
Yeah,
so they bumped me up to main event.
I remember.
So yeah, Liverpool holds a special place in my heart, man, because that's the first place that I ever got to be main event.
Yes, I remember Liverpool, of course. All right. Well, listen, Diego, best of luck next week. We'll hopefully talk to you after your fight next weekend, July 19th. Um, just out of curiosity, what watch would you be asking Hearn for? Which Rolex?
Uh, Gotta be a presidential.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it'll be a presidential, but. we'll see, man. Hopefully he let me get like an AP or something instead.
Well, look, I'm going to put this clip out so Eddie has got no choice because I've
Oh
got the
yeah.
video from years ago and I've got this one now just to give him a little bit of a reminder. But Diego, thank
Yes.
you very much for your time and wish you the
Yes.
best of luck for next week.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. We'll talk later.
Thank you.